Grimlock presented a whole new set of challenges, mostly because we're not going into a vehicle. We're going into another two-legged form, uh, and his physical mass seemed to be almost twice as large as his robot form. On top of that, Tej and the designers came over and said, "Hey, we want something that's really epic, and we're going to give you like 4.5 seconds to do this transform." Usually you say that to an animator, and they start foaming at the mouth. Wow, I got 4.5 seconds. This is great. But trying to hide those two meshes and knowing when to swap them over 4.5 seconds was kind of like a scary thing. You can imagine we take just over 2 seconds for our vehicle transform. This is almost double the time. And so that was a challenge in itself. Then trying to get this guy to feel really epic. And what did we do? So what Patrick Prisbilla and I did, he's one of my senior animators, and he's actually the animator who animated Grimlock, was we sat down and we kind of brainstormed what this guy would do, how to make him feel terrorizing, powerful, and just monster-like. What we decided to do was take him and kind of give him almost like this Incredible Hulk feel and pound him into the ground. And that is the beginning of his transform into dinosaur. Finishing with a roar. Patrick was also key in highlighting how the camera is going to move. He worked very closely with our cinematic artist, kind of created a foundation for the camera and what we want to show. So at this point we're like up here. At the point in the animation, maybe about right here. And so what Patrick would do is create like a temp camera or a mock camera and export that out, and our cinematic artists will either take that camera information or replicate it in Unreal. And they also have some variation on the cameras as well. So obviously this guy right here is maybe just this big, and his dinosaur form is huge. And so one of the things we were able to do is kind of compress his tail, which you can see right in here. Compress his tail and take those pieces and kind of visually move them out. We sat down for a couple of days and thought of a couple different ways we can go about it. And this was the way that I thought might work the best. And I gotta say that he executed even better than what I thought in my head. When I imagined it in my head, I said, "Oh, we should do this ground pound thing, and maybe the head comes out and the tail whips out," and he absolutely blew me away. And I think it's one of the highlights of Transformers in our game. Transforming into Grimlock is a power or an ability, if you would, in our game that you get a reward for, amount of kills and things like that. And so when you go back into robot form, you're just a little bit less powerful. So we wanted to carry that through in the transform. The same principles apply in the transform to dinosaur, like where the moving pieces are going to and coming from. So you can notice like his arms and shoulders are his legs in dinosaur. And we also compress the tail again back up into his body, which becomes his robot legs right down here in the back.